Hey everyone, it's Pearlescent Toys, back in today's video reacting to your guys' hot takes once again. This time, I asked all of you what you guys thought were the most underrated figures of all time, and I selected a handful of them. I asked this both on my YouTube community tabs, thank you to everyone who responded there, and also on Instagram. I post on there every now and then, go give me a follow if you want to. Let's start with the Instagram replies, starting with Retro Modular Iron Man. I can't really say a lot of people thought this one was underrated. I know it didn't really sell all too well just because of the price point it was at. A lot of people were turned off by it. It's honestly my favorite Iron Man figure from the Marvel Legends line so far. I think I put it at number 1 in my top 10 Iron Man figures. Go watch that video if you haven't already. I think it is far superior to the single release that came out in the Ursa Major wave. I'm just a sucker for that old like retro color scheme, you know, the bright red and yellow. I don't know, it just like tickles my fancy. And of course the Marvel vs. Capcom giant cannon thingy. Yeah, that's awesome as well. I don't really know if it's underrated, but I will say that it is a really great figure. This next one is both from Instagram and from YouTube. My good friend Noah says, the Man-Thing Build-A-Figure Bullseye, the head sculpt and accessories were great and it still holds up. And from YouTube, Bullseye from the Man-Thing Build-A-Figure wave. I would say that one is perfectly rated. I don't know why people think it's underrated. I guess because it's like an older figure, but like if you go look at prices for it on the aftermarket, it still goes for a lot of money. Maybe you could say the Daredevil 3-pack Bullseye, you know, the one with the blue torso. That one, yeah, I could see that one being underrated. Of course, it wasn't as good as the Man-Thing Build-A-Figure wave. However, it did have like the updated face printing and really nothing else. Yeah, the Man-Thing Bullseye though, I'd say he's perfectly rated. Jude Anthony Gross, Photon from the Marvels. The MCU figures are definitely slept on a lot of the times. Like I think the sculpt work for those figures are just truly top notch. I really don't know for Photon. I remember the figures from that wave just being pretty underwhelming, but like if it's as good as you think it is, like I never hear anyone else talk about it, so I guess it is underrated. Oh yeah, and I got a new tattoo. Thank you to Lloyd from Segoy Tattoos down in San Diego. He gave me this awesome Spider-Man. I still have my second skin on it, and there's a bunch of ink and plasma on it, so in a future video, you'll see how it's supposed to look. The biggest mark, Knull from the Back in Black Venom 2-pack. I think that 2-pack just overall was slept on a bunch. Like, man, that Venom is probably one of my favorite Venoms from the Marvel Legends line so far. And that Knull, he left a lot to be desired, I'll say that. I think that's why a lot of people sleep on it, just because he just wasn't as good as people thought he was going to be. I remember too, there was like a huge QC issues with the legs, like they break super easily. But yeah, it's a pretty good figure for what it is. I would say that, yeah, I'd say it's underrated. Now let's go over to YouTube where you guys commented on my community tabs. Thank you again. Warlock Build-A-Figure. It has an amazing paint wash and everything on that sculpt is done to the minute detail. Also, it's unlikely Hasbro will use his parts for any new character. I think this is a figure that even at the time like didn't really stir up a whole lot of hype. Of course, Warlock isn't like that well-known character. He's not like an A-list comic book character. Everyone in every household knows him. He's like decently popular. So it's weird to me that like he kind of flew under the radar even back then. Definitely underrated. In my opinion, Cap America Falcon with the wings. Sam Wilson Captain America, that's the one that came out earlier this year. But for some reason I was like confusing it with that 3-pack version from all those years ago. Yeah, I'd say it's underrated. That thing like warmed the shelves at every Target around my area. I think he had to be like clearanced out to like $10 before people actually started buying them. Yeah, in that aspect I would say he's underrated. However, he's not like the best figure in my opinion. In fact, he's pretty underwhelming. Definitely an underrated figure. However, it's just like barely. I'm literally gooning 123. Why did I read that out loud? Shang-Chi Demo Goblin Wave. Sure, it's a Sunfire body, but the articulation and the aesthetics and accessories are insane. I literally see nobody talking about him, and for good reason. The figure sucks. It's one of the worst figures of all time. It like truly is misrepresentative of the character of Shang-Chi, and I just hate, no, I'm kidding. It's a great figure. I love that figure so much. Did I get anyone? Did I get any of you guys? No? Oh. Sorry. It's an awesome figure. But yeah, just like Warlock, I don't remember a whole lot of hoopla around it when it dropped years ago. But at the same time, like I do see it pop up every now and then on my feed on Instagram. I see people posing it. There is definitely a fan base of the figure, but it isn't as strong as many others. So yeah, I'll definitely say that one is underrated. I kind of grouped these next two together because they're sort of the same. To me, the 20th anniversary Iron Man, and from Alicia, the Iron Man Model 4 mold. There's a reason its parts are often reused for other classic suits, and even that Doctor Doom figure, the Secret Wars version that came out in a 2-pack. But I never hear anyone say anything nice about it other than just another Iron Man figure. But it poses so smoothly and has great range. For the 20th anniversary, I would say I'd say that one is perfectly rated, honestly. I know it sort of goes for under aftermarket prices, so a lot of people don't really think that highly of it. If anything, a lot of people consider it like the quintessential Iron Man. That and the 85th anniversary one, like those two seem to be like the go-to Iron Man figures for people. It just like covers all the bases, you know, it comes with Tony Stark heads, the suit itself being iconic, and a lot of great accessories as well. The 20th anniversary definitely perfectly rated. A lot of other figures that use parts from the Model 4 definitely underrated. Let's see what we have. We have like Silver Centurion, the Tony Stark AI, Stealth Suit Iron Man. I'd even throw in Iron Man 2020 in there. I even think like War Machine uses parts from the Model 4. I would say in terms of like versatility, the Model 4 mold is super underrated and does not get the flowers it deserves from the community. No Way Home Doctor Strange. It honestly to me is the quintessential MCU Doctor Strange. This look he has almost down to a T from his solo movie and then from Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, and that look continued on to No Way Home. It's one of my biggest pet peeves that like Marvel just have to like change up their outfits in every single movie. It drives me up the walls. But for Doctor Strange, they actually let that look cook for a while before they eventually changed it for Multiverse of Madness, which I appreciate so much. Because like you could buy 2 or 3 of these Doctor Strange figures and put him in different eras of the MCU. You could put him on his own like Doctor Strange display or with the Avengers display, and even like its namesake, the No Way Home display. So yeah, I think the versatility of this figure is great. I think the accessories it comes with are awesome, and just the likeness to Benedict Cumberbatch is, I think, is the strongest of any of the MCU Doctor Strange figures so far. Yeah, I completely agree. That figure is super underrated. Capybara 455, Juggernaut from the 2-pack. No, it was one of the most highly sought after figures. It kind of still is. There's a reason why you see bootlegs of this like all over the internet, and that's because people just think that highly of it. People really want it. Yeah, it's just an amazing figure. Definitely not underrated though. And lastly today, Wally Robotron says the Eternal figures. This one I saved for last because I know a lot of people are going to be like, Eternals? Really? As an Eternals apologist, I definitely have to agree. And that's just not because I think the movie is super underrated. I think it got way too much hate. Is it the best movie? Absolutely not. Is it complete trash like many people make it out to be? No. If anything, yeah, the storyline just kind of drags on a little bit, but the action scenes are fantastic. And the CGI is just breathtaking. However, the figures, those figures may have been like radioactive because nobody wanted to touch them. I think I was the only person who was like actually hyped to find all of them at my local Target. I bought all of them, went home, had fun posing them around, and it wasn't until like a year later when I started seeing them like pop up at Ollie's for like $10. I was just like, dang. And even to this day, who's that dude that like makes all the toy hunting videos? God, I forgot the name of that guy. He always plugs like his shitty Han Solo comic book at the beginning of every video. That guy goes over just how these Eternal figures sit on the shelves of Ollie's like everywhere. Nobody wants them. And I get it. A lot of people aren't that connected to these characters, and even people don't like this movie. However, just judging them based on articulation, on paint apps, the sculpt, they're really good. You know, MCU figures are always knock it out of the park in terms of accuracy, and these are no different. I think they all look great. Again though, it's from a movie not a lot of people like, that's why it's super slept on, unfortunately. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Definitely underrated. But yeah, that'll do for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for commenting what you guys thought were the most underrated figure. If you want to be in the next one. You know, comment down below what your favorite underrated figure is. Only one. Don't comment more than one. I've left those out because they would take way too long to go through. While you're at it, please like, comment, and subscribe, and share with a friend. Anything you can do to support the channel will be greatly appreciated. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye.